I'm Petty Officer Michael Wilkin. The United States continues to engage China militarily and politically. The top U.S. military leader in the Pacific shared his thoughts on how the U.S. rebalance toward the Pacific includes expanding ties with China. Tech Sergeant Michael Jackson reports.
The U.S. rebalance toward the Asia-Pacific is a strategy that will include defining America's relationship with the People's Republic of China. The U.S. and China already interact with each other in many ways. As the world's two largest economies, they have a growing trade relationship that you can see in places like the port of Honolulu here in Hawaii, where more than $450 million in goods were traded to and from China in April of this year alone. In fact, the total value of U.S.-China trade in 2012 was more than $500 billion. The two are linked culturally, as 1 out of every 3 Chinese students attending school abroad is studying in the United States. And the Obama administration's 100,000 Strong initiative is focused on increasing the number of Americans studying in China. There's military interaction as well. This year, China participated in the U.S.-Philippine exercise Balikatan for the first time. And the U.S. has officially invited China to participate in the world's largest naval exercise, Rim of the Pacific, here in Hawaii in 2014. The commander of U.S. Pacific Command, Admiral Samuel Locklear, said that the relationship between the U.S. and China can be characterized by cooperation and focusing on places where the two countries' interests converge.
Yeah, I think that between a power such as the United States and a rising power such as China, that competition is inevitable, and that competition can lead to friction. But just because you have friction and because you have militaries doesn't mean you necessarily have to have conflict. So I think when you look at it from my perspective in the U.S., and I would hope from the Chinese perspective, that we see a future, a bright future for us to be able to work together to ensure a peaceful and secure environment.
Admiral Locklear recently met with China's Deputy Chief of the General Staff at a security summit in Singapore. The two leaders discussed expanding the military-to-military ties between the U.S. and China. Tech Sergeant Michael Jackson, Honolulu, Hawaii.
Navy Secretary Ray Mabus told U.S. sailors in Japan today the Navy is working hard to make sure they get what they need to complete their missions, despite the budget uncertainties of sequestration. But in an all-hands at U.S. Fleet Activities Yokosuka, Secretary Mabus cautioned some of the Navy's operations will have to be reduced due to sequestration.
We may have to skinny down some exercises. We may have to change the scope of some stuff. But we're not going to change the underlying commitment to this region or the need for a Navy that can execute this wide range of missions.
The Secretary also said the budget cuts shouldn't affect benefits such as the Tuition Assistance Program, TRICARE, or the retirement plan for current members of the Navy. That's your TPC News Update.